Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. My name, of course, is Potato, and 2024 is over. It is time to go over the best games of the year. So I'm breaking down every single strategy sub-genre into my top games of the year. Now, today we are having a little look at management games, and boy oh boy, there's some great games on this list. Management games are a little bit of a sort of difficult sub-genre to sort of clarify and classify, but there are some god games in here, there's some multiplayer games in here, there's some tycoon-esque sort of style games, but aren't quite tycoon-y enough to make it into the tycoon game list. That's right, I'm doing a tycoon game list and also a whole bunch of other stuff as well. Check out the link down in the description below for a link to all of the other different video types that I'm doing. Let me know in the comments down below if you think that there are any games missing from this list, or if you think that there's a game on here that shouldn't be on here. Anyway, let's get into the management games. The Universim is the first game on the list, and this is a god game. It's a very interesting, sort of large-scale colony manager, I suppose. You don't exactly directly manage your little people, called nuggets, actually, but you do sort of like shape the world that they live on, and it's really, really good. It's very, very entertaining because you're able to wield sort of godly powers. You're able to plan out cities and all of the different buildings that they're going to inhabit so that they can produce certain resources. You effectively need to make sure that they are well kept and fit for the future. This is probably one of the best sort of modern age of god games. It's certainly one of the best god games that you can get on the market right now. As I say, it came out in January of 2024, currently sitting at about 80% positive from over 7,000 Steam reviews. This is an excellent management game, and I absolutely would recommend it. Moving on to Keepers, and this is quite a change from the last one. This is a co-op base management sort of game with incredibly complex is maybe not the right word, but incredibly intricate automation elements. Effectively, it is a tower base combined with a base management style game. Best played co-op, in my opinion, but you have to do two things. You have to defend your base through this sort of tower defense interface, and you also need to manage all of the ammunition and all of the resources that you need to actually do that. And this makes for a very, very interesting game, and a really, really satisfying game to sort of solve. It's quite similar to Plate Up, if you've ever seen that, but as one Steam reviewer said, it is, you know, Plate Up with siege weapons and magic. Yeah, so it really is quite an excellent game, in my opinion. There's a tremendous amount to explore here. There's different maps, there's different types of weapons that change the game in, you know, hugely varied ways. There's challenges, there's quirks. As I say, it is better enjoyed in co-op, but it is a really great game, and I hope more people start sort of playing this because, yeah, it's just excellent. And ping-ponging right back to god games with Reus 2? I really can never manage to get the name of that one right. But anyway, this is an excellent god game. It's actually the sequel to the Reus game, where you control large godly titans that can shape the planet by building villages, animals, biomes, and a whole bunch more. You have to advance through the eras of the planet, and much like in the Universim, you have to guide your population to new achievements to empower your gods. It's a really strong entry into the god game genre. There's still content that is in development. It did enter sort of full release on the 28th of May 2024, so, you know, periodically check it out, see if there's any updates. There's, for example, Ice Age DLC coming in January of 2025 with a free update, which is going to add some ground-shaking features, or so I read on the Steam page. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed my time with this game. 2 thumbs up from me for sure. Moving right along, we've got Writer's Rush, which is a really strange game to try and, I guess, boil down to a single genre, which is why it's made it into my list of management games, I suppose. It's basically a book writing management game. It's not a large game. It's quite a sort of small indie game. It's $5 or $6. Effectively, you have to compete against other writers in order to make the most popular and interesting books. You get to select the ending and your editor, everything to try and make your novel perfect. It's really as if sort of Game Dev Tycoon was all about writing, except you also have a sort of competitive element and you need to sort of advance through different sort of tiers of writers. As I say, it is a great little indie game, and I hope the developers press on with other projects, because this one was really interesting, really unique, and probably overlooked by a lot of people. So yeah, if you're interested, Writer's Rush, excellent little game, would very highly recommend it. Time to Morp is another kind of difficult to classify game. It's kind of a base builder, it's kind of an automation game, but it is most certainly a management game. You are in charge of a colony of Morps, and I think the best way to describe these Morps is that they are kind of like Pokemon sort of style creatures. They start in this base configuration, and through your manipulations, you can turn them into a variety of different sort of style creatures. You need to feed them different resources, you need to keep them in different sort of pens, you need to do different things with them, and there's a bunch of sort of different combinations that you can deploy in order to get different style Morps. There's a pretty large tech tree. There is, as I say, some really interesting sort of automation elements about how you feed them and how you deal with them. It's really great. It's also multiplayer as well, so you can build up this little Morp ranch with your friends if indeed it is up your street. Anyway, yeah, Time to Morp. Check it out along with all of the other games linked down in the description below. Rebots is a first-person automation management game with an expansive universe to explore. You have to use intelligent-ish Rebots, that's Rebots, not robots, to do your bidding, and you can get them to do a whole bunch of different things. You can get them to move resources from one place to another. You can get specific Rebots to command the Rebots that are moving things from one place to another. You can get waypoint Rebots. There's so many different types of Rebots that you can use to manage your little sort of colony. You have to build homes for weird and wacky alien type creatures, and I actually named a weird and wacky alien type creature in this game. So Alien McAlieny Face, have a little look out for them in the game, because I named them, which is quite cool. There's a whole bunch of really interesting and cool automation mechanics in this game, and the fact that you have to manage a whole bunch of robots just sits well with me. I absolutely dig this one. It's really, really fun. And yeah, you're going to have a great time if you pick up Rebots, that's for darn sure. This is one of those games where the name just kind of tells you everything that you need to know about this one. This is Crab God, where you have to manage a crab colony because you are a crab god. You have to build defenses, you have to give your crabs instructions, you have to assign them jobs, you have to tell them where to go. Most importantly, though, you have to keep them fed, and that is your overwhelming objective. You have to go deeper and deeper into the sea in order to sort of progress the story and see what lies beyond, lead your crabs towards victory. Why you go down as opposed to up, I don't know. There's some sort of lore reasons there. Anyway, there's sort of an integration of roguelike mechanics as well. There's loads of sort of upgrades for your crabby creatures that you can deploy. You can make sure that they're boosted in certain ways. It's a really interesting concept for a game, and it's another sort of great god game on this list. Yeah, excellent game. Really, really fun to play. Where on earth do I even start with Planet Crafter? This is a space survival open world terraforming crafting game. There's a lot going on here. It is effectively all about terraforming a planet, in the sense that it is kind of like Subnautica, but if you had to terraform a planet and also you were on the surface of a planet as opposed to being underwater. This is a game that will take a long time, and the planet that you are changing over the course of hours and hours and hours of in-game time will change drastically. Planet Crafter released into 1.0 this year. After a good wee while, actually, in early access, it has changed, improved a lot since the last time that I played it. You can also play it with friends, by the way. It is multiplayer. Anyway, it is overwhelmingly positively reviewed on Steam, with almost 45,000 reviews at the time of writing, which is just an absolutely tremendous number of reviews. I mean, well deserved, I've got to be honest, because it is an excellently fun game, and yeah, check it out if for some reason you haven't heard of this one. It's really, really good.
Penultimately, we have Songs of Silence. Songs of Silence, difficult game to sort of classify. It's kind of got city building elements. It's kind of got 4X elements. It's kind of got auto-battlery types of elements. Again, this is, in my mind anyway, a management game that is just really difficult to sort of pin down, but it's definitely a management game, and therefore it's falling squarely into this video. You have to move your generals around the map, conduct battles on the field, use abilities, upgrade cities, the whole thing. It's got a very sort of striking art style, massive battles, as I say, and just an absolutely epic campaign. It's a surprisingly deep and interesting game, and I really enjoyed my time with it.
And last, but definitely not least, we've got Galacticare. Galacticare is an intergalactic hospital management style game. It is effectively Two Point Hospital, but set in space, or set in a sort of space station around a planet. There's a whole bunch of sort of different levels that you can check out and play. Each have got sort of different themes and different sort of objectives that you need to try and solve. But effectively, every sort of iteration is the same. You have to build rooms, you have to cure super strange diseases, you have to trade with space whales for upgrades for rooms, you have to hire doctors, you have to deal with a whole bunch of weird and wacky sort of scenarios. But it's a really good management game nonetheless, and, you know, you'll definitely feel sort of satisfied building up this big old space hospital. It's very positive on Steam at the moment, over 80% positive reviews from 400 and something, 450, over 450 reviews. So yeah, a pretty decent sample size there. But yeah, Galacticare, check it out down below. So that is it for my list of management games. It's a bit of a sort of mishmash. Management games are a bit of a sort of weird sub-genre, I think. You can manage a whole bunch of different things, but, you know, as a rule of thumb, if they deserve to be in a different category, then they probably will be. So if you're interested in seeing more sort of management-esque style games, I would strongly encourage you to have a little look at my list of tycoon games, linked down in the description below. That's a bunch of really sort of interesting games that are also sort of management-esque. I've also got a list all about transport games as well. They're kind of management-esque as well. I've also got a list of upgrade games, which you can check out down there too. So, you know, there's loads and loads and loads of games that you can check out down below. But what did you think about this list? Are there sort of other major management style games that you think deserve to be on here? Please do indeed let me know down in the comments below. And also, yeah, check out the other videos in the series. Thank you ever so much for watching, folks. I'll catch you next time. Bye.